You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Harry's wife. We are shocked you don't believe us. Did you hear that sharp intake of breath just recently? It was so strong that it even caused Donald Trump's hair to move, flap in the wind. What was this sharp intake of breath? Well, it was no other than the Prince of Pink Pancakes and his handler expressing their shock and dismay that they're not being believed in relation to the recent NYC car chase. How do we know this? Well, according to Meredith Nardino in Us magazine, with the headline, Prince Harry and Harry's wife are shocked by reaction to NYC car chase. Absolutely not exaggerated. Is this something that Harry's wife may well state? It absolutely is. You see, her narcissism caused her to make a great big song and dance in relation to the paparazzi, which we have analysed and explained in parts passim, so no need to go over that again. The reaction to it has been, we don't believe you. It's exaggerated, made up, fabricated. What a load of... That, of course, amounts to repeated threats. And when we're talking repeated threats, it's a tsunami of challenge fuel. Lots of fuel for her because so many people, so many outlets, so many broadcast outlets were talking about it all. But so many of them did so with scepticism, disapproval, and downright disgust. Not only that, certain key players in the whole debacle also expressed their view that it was not as described, to put it mildly. All of that amounts to challenge after challenge after challenge after challenge, ding, 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 landing on Harry's wife over and over again. Each time, her narcissism has to react to it in order to nullify these repeated threats to control that she's experiencing. And this is problematic for her. She was going to feel like she's under siege. Harry, they don't believe us. Can we spin the wheel of PR? Puff Frippery said something out. I guess we're gonna have to. Naturally, her narcissism causes her not to do this. They've seen through it. We did exaggerate. Oh well, on to the next thing. Or maybe do we issue an apology and say we overreacted at first because we were frightened? No. Her narcissism doesn't let her see it that way. Instead, it absolutely happened as we described it. I can't believe that you don't believe me. Why can you not accept that it wasn't exaggerated? I'm shocked by your reaction. Of course, all of this is blame shifting. You don't believe me. What's wrong with you? You don't accept it was as I described it. Why won't you believe me? You're sick. You're twisted. There's something wrong with you. Remember, it's never the narcissist's fault, and it's never Harry's wife's fault. And thus her narcissism causes her to respond by suggesting it's absolutely not exaggerated. But of course, what is she doing? She's in effect doubling down on it all. Because not only has she been caught out in a manufactured incident, which has been covered with lashings of exaggeration, rather than just keep quiet and eventually let it go away, she has to react to it. That shows the dumbfuckery of her style of narcissism. Rather than just be quiet and allow people to move on to other things, because people always do, instead, her narcissism leads her to have to nullify the threat to control by saying, no, I can't believe you don't believe us, and it's absolutely not exaggerated. No. Thus, drawing attention to the very thing that everybody's criticising for her once again. The article explains a bridge too far. Prince Harry and Harry's wife have been shocked by the response to their frightening car chase experience. A source exclusively reveals in the new issue of Us Weekly. They insist their account of the car chase was absolutely not exaggerated. Yeah. And for people to say otherwise is so hurtful and out of line, the insider adds. Of course, to suggest that it's hurtful is a pity play, and then there's the haughty arrogance of Harry's wife. You're out of line. Despite facing backlash over their version of events, Harry, 38, and Harry's wife, 41, refused to be silenced. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex were followed by a ring of highly aggressive paparazzi in New York City after leaving the 2023 Women of Vision Awards on May 16th. The relentless pursuit, lasting over 2 hours, resulted in multiple near collisions involving other drivers on the road, pedestrians, and 2 NYPD officers, a spokesperson for the couple, who were travelling with Harry's wife's mum, Doria Ragland, claimed on May 17th. Describing the incident as near catastrophic, the rep continued, while being a public figure comes with a level of interest from the public, it should never come at the cost of anyone's safety. Dissemination of these images, given the way in which they were obtained, encourages a highly intrusive practice that is dangerous to all involved. While Chris Sanchez, a member of the pair's security detail, claimed to CNN that the ordeal could have been fatal, coterie member, a statement from the NYPD clarified that Harry and Harry's wife were still able to reach their destination safely. There were no reported collision summonses, injuries, or arrests in regard, the department noted. Shortly after the sticky situation made headlines, Whoopi Goldberg popped up and chimed in, stating during an episode of The View, arguing that the busy Manhattan traffic makes it difficult to believe the Archewell co-founder's perspective. I think their spokesperson referenced something that you generally would reference in Los Angeles. That's where you have chases. That's where you can move at high speeds, the EGOT winner 67 said on Thursday, May 18th. I think they were dealing with aggressive paparazzi, but I don't think it was where, you're watching on TV, just watching the cars go, because it just doesn't work in New York. Co-host Joy Behar agreed, teasing, "Sometimes I'm in the city and I hear an ambulance trying to get through and I think, that person is dead." She's a bit of little laughs, isn't she? Sonny Hostin, however, encouraged her fellow panellists to consider how different the experience would be for Harry, who lost his mother, Princess Diana, in a fatal car crash in Paris in 1997. If they felt scared, I will grant them that, she said. The former military pilot has been candid, I'll say, over the years about coping with Diana's death. He mentions it every other minute. Harry was 12 years old at the time of the collision, which was brought on by persistent paparazzi. For a long time, I just refused to accept that she was gone. Part of it was she would never do this to us, but also part of it maybe felt like this is all part of a plan, the spare author confessed during a 60 Minutes interview in January. For a time, I believed she was alive, and then she would call us and we would go and join her. Harry spent many years wondering whether Diana would come out of hiding before finally accepting her death. I had huge amounts of hope, he said. Typical narcissistic response of a narcissist to a situation where they create drama, and then when the overwhelming response to that, bar a few idiotic sugars, is don't believe you, it's exaggerated, it's manufactured, it's staged, is to then say, how dare you, how very dare you not believe us when we told you it was exactly as it was. The usual response of a narcissist: blame shifting by suggesting there's something wrong with all of you for not believing her, and of course doling out the pity play of saying, I'm shocked and hurt by you not believing me. In effect, you should all feel guilty and feel like you're very bad people. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.